Good day, guys. Today, and in this one today, we're going to be looking at Wii U eShop titles played on our Cemu Emulator. Now, this is a bit hard for me to explain because it's a bit Inception-ish kind of thing going on. Basically, the eShop that's on the Wii U, it sells like, I don't know, mobile appy kind of games, low-end, virtual console-y, I don't know. Basically, stuff that goes in the eShop or the Wii U shop or the Nintendo shop, whatever it is that Wii U people or Nintendo call this now, we're going to be playing the games that you can purchase from there on our Cemu Emulator. So we can see what kind of performance we're going to get, what kind of compatibility we're going to get, and we're just going to see what the hell's going on. So, now that I've kind of confused everyone, let's get stuck in. So first up then we've got Guacamole, or Guacamole, I don't know, I've got no idea how you pronounce this. I've got this on Steam, but I haven't played much of it, but I did load it up just to compare the two together. And to be honest, there's not much difference at all. In terms of frames per second, this is playing kind of fine. In terms of glitches, kind of fine. There is virtually no difference between this and the original. The only thing that I can say is that the sound is of a low quality and a bit crackly. TNT Races Nitro Machine Edition. What a title. Whatever. This is actually a pretty good game. And as you can see, it's, well, there you go. That's what's wrong with it. When you die or when you're in your, I don't know, losing place, you get this little glitch that's going on and it looks like it can't represent it on the screen properly, so there is graphical glitches on this, but to be honest, none to any kind of effect that would hamper the game. I would presume that this would get more compatible as it goes along. In terms of the frames per second and the actual gameplay and stuff, it's not affected at all. The only other place that I am seeing pretty big glitches on this one is in the menu screen. There is quite a lot of, I don't know, font artifacts going on, but again, fully playable, and I actually pretty much enjoyed this. It's a Micro Machine clone at the end of the day. Gunman Clive. Now this one, again, this is like a Mega Man clone. It's Wild West, obviously, and don't be put off by the actual graphics because this is as the original was. It also looks like it's playing slow, but I think the original has been slowed down. It looks like it's in slow motion, but this is the original speed. It's full speed, full frames per second. The only thing that I would say for this one is even though the graphics are intentionally washed out, the actual colours, some of them aren't showing properly, so they do look a little more washed out than what they would be normally. It's completely playable. The only thing that I would say is if you can look in the bottom right hand corner now, there's like a little duck that's supposed to be there. It's a little more yellow in the original. That's the difference. It's not much of a difference. If you watch gameplay from back then, or the original should I say, there's not much difference there at all. Mighty Switch Force 2. Now, it's one of them games where it's not bad. I actually wouldn't have purchased this. In terms of all the stuff, frames per second, it's all there. In terms of graphics, all the sound seems fine. It's pretty much good across the board. But the only thing I would say is it's a pretty boring game. I don't know, we're not watching this video to, I don't know, comment on the games, we're just seeing what's actually playable, but I don't know, if I would have spent money on this, I would have been pretty upset. The thing is, them little gold blocks, I can press a switch, I think it's my bumper button, and it'll, I don't know, highlight a different block. If I'm caught in the block, it kills me, and obviously if the block is see-through, I fall through it. But there you go, I can switch it and I can turn the blocks on. That's like the mechanism of the game. It's playable, but it's not exactly going to be played on my emulator. Now this one, Mem Run. There, that's the sound. This is fully playable, but who wants to play this? The graphics are awful, but intentionally the sound is annoying. Intentionally bad. But I don't know, it's a fun game. It's fully playable. Full frames per second, fully loading. Seems to be no issues whatsoever. It all just depends on if you actually want to play this game. Be a funny YouTube video though. Okay, this brings me on to another one, which is absolute crap. I can't remember what it's called. Wicked Blast. Now, this is... You can only play it with your mouse. I figured this out. This is me playing at the start. Now, if you use your mouse... by the way, this is full frames per second, and the game is really slow. So, it's easy and boring and crap. It's like the worst combination ever. This is where I realised that you have to use your mouse. There you go. Now, obviously, you can hire, with it being PC, you can wire up your light guns and stuff to imitate the mouse, so you can play it that way. But again, I don't think I would bring the light guns out of dust and out of the drawer just to play this game. It is absolutely terrible. Yes, it's fully playable across the board, but unless they give this away for free and you dump it from there, there's no chance of me playing it. In fact, I wouldn't even go through the hassle of it. It's just an all-round pretty crappy game. Mutant Mudds. Now this is like a 8-bit remake, but it's not. It's just one of them retro-looking games. It's actually not too bad for a little platformer, to be honest. In terms of the graphics and sound and everything, it's all working. The sound's perfect, the sound effects, the music, the actual playability, frames per second. Not that you wouldn't expect anything different, to be honest. Let's face it, it's a 8-bit remake, but it looks pretty good. It's pretty interesting game. As you can see, the mechanic is that I can go closer to the screen, away from the screen. There's loads of different dimensions we can go through. It's not a bad game. Here's New Adventure Island, and I've got no idea why this was on the eShop category, to be honest, because, I don't know, I thought this would have come under the virtual console stuff, as you can see. But it is. It's under the eShop. So you can purchase this on its own to run individually from the actual, I don't know, virtual console stuff. But yeah, it's not a bad game. It runs full frames per second. Not that you wouldn't expect anything differently. It's pretty authentic to the original. I'm not sure if they actually remade this or if it's just been emulated. Yeah, it's not bad. I do know now that the Wii U is now using the retro arch to be able to emulate on the Wii U. So it's gone like full circle. So in its time, the Wii U has been emulated, and then in itself has become an emulator. It's like, I don't know, it's so confusing. I'll probably do a video on that. Anyway, I'm going off topic and I'm waffling. Yes, this is now fully working. Adventure Island is good. The only issues that I can see with this one is the graphics are really low quality. I wouldn't say they're not working or glitchy. I would just say they sound really low quality. I'm not sure if that's just the way it's emulating or playing the sounds of the original. Rush then, and yeah, this one is not a bad game, but it's pretty damn boring. Admittedly, I only played the first couple of levels, and it is fully working. The full frames per second, full graphics, no glitches, no problems. You do need to use your mouse or some kind of other variation of that, because you need to click on the screen, but it's a boring game. PacMan 2 then, and this brings me on to the non-working games. You can boot them up and you can play them to some extent, but they're pretty much, I wouldn't exactly show them to my friends as working games. This is PacMan and this is how it plays. I am showing you the demo rather than my gameplay. This is because the demo, well, when you start the gameplay you have to go through tutorial and it is so boring, so I just thought I'd show you this. Shows it better. Venus and Ferb. Now, this, it looks like it's from a cartoon. Excuse my ignorance on this one. It probably is a cartoon from Nickelodeon or something. Looks like that kind of thing. And it's a pretty well emulated game. It's, I don't know. As you can see, it's not full frames per second. In fact, it's probably half frames per second. But the game actually sounds perfect, plays perfect. There's no graphical glitches. The only issue I can see on this is that it runs half speed. That probably will improve in time, and it does actually look like a pretty neat platformer, but yeah, that's its gripe. Good soundtrack, by the way. Rock and Racing Off-Road. This looks pretty crap. This is how the graphics are. As you can see, it's pretty much non-playable. But if this is the view that was on there, I don't know. This is like stuff from Commodore 64 days. Even if it was playing, I don't think I played this game because it looks absolute crap. And this is Turbo. As you can see, it's the DreamWorks license using from the film. Never seen the film, so I can't really comment. And they've kind of mishmashed it together with a Tony Hawk's playing style. So you're just in like some arena, going up and down ramps and stuff. And, well, it's one of them. Even if it wasn't glitching as bad as it is now, I probably wouldn't play it because it looks crap. And that's the game catalogue. That's what I've tested so far. There's plenty more to go through. I just want to go through all the games and see which ones work, which don't, and where they're all up to. I thought you guys might be interested in some eShop-y kind of games. Often they are tapped, but sometimes you do find a gem every now and again. And I'm also a poet, and I didn't even know it. So hopefully that's brought some more games to your table and will open your eyes, not just to the Super Marios that everybody keeps on playing, but to some other games that the Wii U has on offer. So it's been a pleasure as always, guys. Please like, please subscribe, please do all the things that people normally do with this YouTube place where games kind of work but don't. But most of all, you have a good day. Laters!